G'day folks, and welcome to this unboxing of Cloudspire by Chip Theory Games. Now this is a 2019 publication designed by Adam Carlson and Josh Wilgus. Now it's 5 years old and I have had my eye on this for many years. Chip Theory Games, for those of you who are not familiar, they kind of fame themselves. Their design model is based largely around the idea of using poker chips. So they're most commonly known for Too Many Bones, which is kind of a dungeon explorer RPG type game where basically the game revolves around using chips for your heroes, for monsters and so forth. And Cloudspire kind of borrowed, and it's a hefty box, all right? It borrowed those design ideas and ported it to this kind of MMO tower defense type model. So this is almost a tower defense slash MMO game where you will have your base. It can be played 1 to 4 players. So here we have like what looks like a 2-player scenario or a 1-player versus a bot. You will have your base, your fortress, and you will build out from your fortress, and you will follow the paths towards your enemy's base, try and destroy their fortifications and the health of their base along the way. You will use source trackers, a dial, as your currency, to recruit new units, to upgrade them, etc., to buy things and do things. Your units will kind of move along the board and battle. It is a relatively moderate to high complexity game. What's taken me 5 years to get to this is the fact that a lot of the reviews said this is such a difficult game to get to the table, to teach players and play. And so initially I decided not to buy it, but yeah, this copy recently became available. It is still in shrink. I thought, well, let's take a dive. Let's check it out and see what I've been missing for all this time. So after a long wait for me, I'm finally going to crack open Cloudspire and have a look. So again, it weighs a ton. I don't have an exact weight on this, but it is a very, very heavy box and the shrink is coming off eventually. All right, there we go. So, nice textured box. It has I don't know if you can see that, but a kind of glossy text on the front. It did want to be a sturdy box because it is so heavy. Okay, so the lid comes off and I will put that over here. Another thing Chip Theory Games, I should point out, are famous for is their relatively waterproof components. They use neoprene board matting. They use almost like a plastic material for their playing card, their cards basically, and of course the poker chips, which are plastic. So here's a list of their products. Let me just quickly see. There's Too Many Bones, so they're very famous for that, and there are various expansions now for Too Many Bones. You can see how those poker chips play a central role in this is Undertow, but yeah, all the expansions are more of the same type of content. Okay. And these are the neoprene mats that I was sort of talking about. So they have a very high production quality in their games. So the rulebook version 1.0, and I don't know if this has been upgraded. I'll have to check that out. It is we're looking at 34, 35, 36 pages long. Quick reference on the back. What are we looking at? The phases of a wave. Okay, so this is where you do event phase, income phase, you gain your source, your currency, repair fortress gates. A market phase, you can make a purchase from the market. It could be an item or a new unit or an upgrade of some type. The build phase, you use your source to build things, construct spire, upgrade a spire. Earthscape, this is where you are taking a tile and modifying, terraforming the earth almost, or advancing your fortress. And then preparation phase, declare your mark, select units using CP, these are your command points, based on what you have here. Prepare units into a deployment stack. You're basically deploying your units. And then your onslaught phase. Start your turn, move, spires, fire, exploration, and attack. Okay, so that's a very quick overview of how the game works, but there is a lot of depth. There are various kind of attributes, abilities, upgrades, things you can do. Okay, and here's sort of a quick overview of a unit. So you have attack, you have range, you have their source costs up here. This is the source reward. This is special ability or talent, as they're called. Little dots here, little white dots, blue dots, sorry, indicate the number of upgrades they can have. So this unit here has, for example, 4 dots, and so it can have up to. Well, it's got 5 there. So what am I missing? Fortification maybe doesn't count. I don't know. I'm missing something there, but there you go. I need to learn. So there's the rulebook. Clear, colourful. I should have started at the beginning really to give you a look of what this is. Clear, colourful, glossy, high quality. Okay. It's paper. It's not made of plastic, so don't get that wet. Then we have the cooperative scenarios. Okay. So there are. Here we go. There's the co-op scenarios. It's a 56-page co-op scenario rulebook. We have, and there are different factions. So this basically on what type of factions you want to play. You can play co-op and solo. I'm just looking at the AI. So where was the AI? AI talent triggers master list on page 13. AI movement example, neoprene hex tile. There you go. AI talent triggers, so when it triggers, right. So that's the scenario booklet basically. Then we have solo scenarios, and this is even thicker. This is a huge 84 pages of solo scenarios. And there you go, you've got and then, again, they're based on factions. The Braunen, the Heirs, the Narora, the Grove Tenders, and then an endless mode, which I don't know much about. Endless mode, page 80. Look at that. You can play it as any faction, blah, blah, blah. Intriguing. Really nice art here. Again, this is colourful. This is very interesting. Okay, so yeah, solo scenarios. Quick setup. I'll go through these components in a moment to show you what these are, but these are basically the hex tiles that you play. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles, and then a couple of tokens, and you set up. It should be pretty quick from what I've seen. Then you've got your faction board. So these are asymmetrical factions. They're all quite different, and these are. Let's open the Narora and have a quick look. I don't know why they are separate. Actually, I was going to open the Narora and then I opened the Braunen instead. It's because there are more in here. But this is a plastic. It's not cardboard. It's plastic printed. So you've got your this is your faction sheet, and you will use your source to build these advancements. They give you special abilities, or they might special bonuses and extra resources or things you can do, basically. They're your fortress enhancements, and then faction specific details and your Braunen special talents. Okay, so each faction is a little unique. So there's 2 Narora, right? This might be an errata Narora, I'm wondering. Because it looks exactly the same, as far as I can tell. I'm sure there's something different here. Replace Narora sheet with this one. There we go. So that's an errata. That's why it's in a separate case. Then, okay, so I'll move the board box back for a moment. These are the neoprene. So this is my neoprene table matting, right? It's really great. It's spongy. It's really good for picking up stuff, right? I've mentioned this in the past. It's a really nice material. This is quite a thick neoprene. Neoprene is almost like a wetsuit material. Spongy, flexible, versatile fabric material. And this is what the board is made of, basically. So you'll place these neoprene tiles out, and that forms your board. And it's really quick to build. Here are your stronghold areas, right? So you'll place your stronghold on the edge like that. It's probably not picking it up on the camera, but this looks really cool. The colours are really nice. The camera probably isn't doing it justice, but the stronghold, I'm going to hold that up for a bit. So this is your stronghold. You'll have various sort of dice in here, and you'll put little pins in here when you've upgraded the source drill. Where are the pins? They're not in this container. We'll get to that in a moment. And then your dial. So this will be your source dial and your health dial over here on the right. This is where, yeah, your industry, your faction is focused. Your starting point, your base, your everything that you have to defend. So I am a fan of MMOs, and I think this is why I've played many, many hours of Dota. I have played far fewer hours of League of Legends, and there's other games, Hearthstone, stuff like that. But Dota has been one of the games I've played too many hours of. And I love the idea of attempting to port that MMO feeling to board games. These are the Earthscape tiles. So again, neoprene, 3 hex tiles that you can expand or to some extent overlap. Okay, so there are about 8, 9, 10 of those. Now there are various. So these are just empty holders, but this is where you'll store your heroes and what are they called? Your heroes and your units. Your units. I don't know what they're called. Your units will store in here, and you purchase them from there using your source. Various dice. So again, in Too Many Bones revolves around these dice. And you upgrade the dice, and it's all about getting more bones, getting more dice, which are very special. And this game kind of extends that idea, but it's using it mainly for sort of industrial purposes. There aren't too many bones. There's only one pack. For those of you who have seen Too Many Bones, you get 4 or 5 of these, I think. But in this, from what I can see, just the one pack of bones, which is kind of a relief. All right, and Too Many Bones is all about dice rolling. This one, to a lesser extent. All right, so a lot of foam padding to separate things, and here are the chips, the poker chips. So you've got attack chips, and then you've got all these are the dials. Okay, so I mentioned those dials. This is your health dial, for example. And these are sort of the different units that you can get. So that is a conduit. Now you can see just on the top there, it has a health of 4, attack of 2. I think that's range of 2. On the right is, I think, the source reward. And I think that's the CP cost up in the top right, I think. And then special ability stasis down the bottom. So there's a whole pile of those. Okay, I won't go through all of these, but I'll just give you a sort of sense of what they look like. So then we have the fortification dice, the dice chips. We've got the range chips, and there's the source dial. So this is how you track your source. And over here we have some Plague Bringer tokens. So again, attack 1, defensive 1, can be upgraded 3 times. Source costs 2, source reward 3, I think. And then some more over here. What do we have here? These have almost fallen out. So a couple more units. Let's have a look at these. So here's an actual hero, Cram the Mighty. He costs 7 CP, quite expensive. 4 CP bonus. I don't know what the symbol means. He's armored, 2 range, 5 health, 2 attack. We've got a Vine Herald here, 4, 1, 2, and a Akeem, a nice little bird. Okay, so I'm just showing you the end chips there. Yeah, if I show you the other end of these chips, there'll be completely different units, like the Source, Siege, the Yelana, Nestor, and the Tap Root. Again, so they're all slightly different abilities and attributes and so on. Okay, And then I have no idea. Oh, these are the tokens that I mentioned. So these are the pins, pegs that you kind of. Yeah, that's a really nice storage container. So these go in your mat to show that you've built a building. And then, these are, what are these? These are the cards, event cards. Okay, pretty simple. Event cards, electrical storm. Before the first player's turn, roll a d6 on a 5 or a 6. Lightning strikes all non-fortress spires. All units adjacent to those spires dealt 2 damage. These are the kind of random events that happen. And these are relics. Your faction's heroes gain the talent Capture for the remainder of wave. When this unit defeats a minion, capture that minion. Nice. So little special abilities that you can use as well. And that's a really nice foam storage, so it looks like it'll pop out if you kind of want to. Or it can just, how did that go in? So somewhere like that, I think, I hope. Okay, so trying to get everything back together. Oh, and of course that was in a box. So there you go, look, that's pretty much everything. These are just, I think, generic health counters. Let's try and fit everything back in there. So really solid. I mean, these poker chips, they're solid poker chips, and they weigh quite a bit. So they're quite hefty. Getting everything back. Yeah, wow. Okay, how can that happen? I have no idea how I did this. Maybe was that like that? I think I'll go. Oh no, that was like that. Wow, I have no idea. I will rewind the video and check it out. But folks, that is Cloudspire by Chip Theory Games. Chips galore. Check it out if it's of interest. Thanks everyone for watching, and take care. Bye for now.